Yale at anyway. I'm really here to relay my own experience. I'm a victim of family violence. I've been physically assaulted. I've been terrorized. I carry a permanent criminal protective order, which I'm grateful for. I believe my son's GAL saved his life. Sorry. I think I am probably the most extreme divorce you're going to hear, or one of the most. My wife has a borderline personality disorder, a severe version of it. The system for me has worked, and I think it's critical that you hear this. The GAL I had was absolutely superb in every way, and has been. What the GAL did was remove the necessity for two people in an extremely volatile situation to be forced into communication, which was incredibly important. It was a neutral party in what is an extremely adversarial situation, and an emotional one. For any victim of family violence, male or female, to be put in a small room with somebody that has terrorized them is a really intimidating position. I'm a 200-pound male, and I was terrified. I don't think it was an extra expense to have a GAL. In fact, what I think it did was cut down on litigation, because what it meant was that there was a neutral party that was able to talk to a judge who needed, the judge in the court in the system is not very well equipped to understand two warring parties. They are not. So the GAL actually in this situation is that sort of neutral voice, and I think it's a critical neutral voice. I think it cost much less money having a GAL involved than it would have if it had gone simply through litigation. It was reassuring to know that the court was hearing from a neutral expert with the child's best interests at heart, and also the opportunity for the child to talk directly to a neutral party. Again, I don't think in this adversarial court situation that the courts are really well equipped. And I think to be well equipped, I think the GAL process is critical, absolutely dead critical. You know, I've listened to a lot of people testify today. I am an extreme version of a divorce. I have sole custody of my son, for which I'm very, very grateful. My son's GAL has been grieved, threatened, stalked, falsely accused, has put up with the most horrendous behavior that you could document. And he's been steadfast and resolute, and for that I am deeply, deeply thankful. And, you know, above everything else, my son's safe as a result of this. I don't think he would have been. If I can make recommendations to this panel, I think that the judiciary in Connecticut needs to be much better equipped to identify extreme personality disorders when they are brought forward. And a lot of court time is dedicated to people with pretty severe personality disorders. A lot of the most aggressive divorces are a result of mental illness. And to identify this and to somehow weed this out of the process, because I think for most parents, 50-50 is just fine. I think most children probably benefit from it. But I can absolutely assure you that in 10% of cases, you have children's lives at risk, and you need to understand this. For normal parents, I am all for it. For not normal parents, you need a GAL in play.
Thank you, sir. Are there any questions for this gentleman?
Who's the name of this GAL? Sounds like he did a pretty good job.
He's superb, Thomas Esposito.
Okay, great. Thank you.
A+++.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions? And if you wanted, you could still submit some written I don't know if you were going to, but you don't have to.
I can if you want.
You don't have to.
Sorry, I ran back up the escalator backwards. That's, I think, why I was so sort of overwhelmed. For me, the GAL process it worked.
All right. Thank you very much. And
I
know
just
you
wanted to make one comment, that when there is domestic violence, you don't need to meet with family relations together.
What was that?
When there's domestic violence or a restraining order or protective order, you don't need to meet with family relations together.
Well, I'll tell you a bias. The bias is that men typically are the abusers and that women are the abused. I have suffered from that. I've never struck anybody in my life, wouldn't dream of it. I have been physically assaulted on 3 or 4 occasions by my wife.
I'm not doubting that you're the victim.
I'm just saying that the system's not set up to support that. There's a bias. I mean, for me as a single father, to have sole custody is quite amazing. It tells you something, and it should tell you something. For me, the system has worked, and I think it's critical that you hear that it has worked. I understand there may be some unscrupulous GALs, but I can tell you the one I've got, wonderful. And actually, Family Services in Connecticut was actually functional too. So for me, it worked. I understand some people have not had it work, and I'm so sorry for them, but for me, it was good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your patience, Mr. Podolsky.